Hey there, welcome to day 75 of playing chess every day until I reach 1500 Elo. Currently we're at 1218 after a win yesterday. It was a new high. Let's go ahead and jump into a 15-minute rapid game here. See what we get. Okay, we have a 1249. Pretty high rated guy. Wait. We barely got our win yesterday because it was a drawing in game, but then he tried to play for the win in the drawing in game, and it actually gave me an advantage, and then I was able to win. But it could have easily been a draw. Let's see. Let's go ahead and let's play the knight here first. Actually, is that a mistake because of that right away? Because I do block off my queen from protecting it. Should I go here first, or should I drop back like I typically would? If I drop back, then he goes here. Then I probably just need to take anyway. It would be kind of like a waste of the move. I think I'll just go ahead and bring the knight forward. No, but then if he goes here, I still can't go here. Oh yeah, if he goes here, I go here. Never mind. So I think we're okay. So let's just... And if he goes here after I go here, then I go here, and it still works. Yeah, okay. So let's just drop back, like I normally would. Maybe now. You go ahead and make the escape square. No, because then he just takes. So let's just play normal moves here. Get maybe this knight out, or get the bishop out first. Using castles. I think I might just trade and then castle. That's here. He hasn't played c5, which is a pretty common way to play against the London. Also hasn't developed anything on his queen side here. Taking this time to think. Okay, just brings the rook over. Is he preparing to push this? Take. Obviously we don't want to end up getting forked here, but because the bishop is already dropped back, he doesn't have that one tactic where, you know, you push, bishop goes back, and then you push again with the fork. So that's not a concern. I think I might just go ahead and castle. If he plays this now, he has 3 defenders. I have 3 attackers here in this square. So he is able to play it, I think. Probably would just take it. Develop the bishop. Maybe I would just trade. I think I'm concerned about it. But I might actually just trade here so that I can castle. Or I could go ahead and just develop my knight. I don't know which one's better. Could play c4 as well. Let's just play something here. I think I'll just develop this knight. This knight comes out. Probably just go here, just prevent the knight from coming to that square. Just the regular London setup here. I'm interested in going for e4, e5. On e4 we have 1, 2. He has 1, 2. can't hop my knight into e5. Oh no, I can, because it is twice defended with these two. Yeah, I never know which one is a better plan between like going for the e4, e5 push, or just going straight with knight into e5. I think I do both of them fairly often, but I don't know which one is necessarily better in what circumstance. So pushes e5. Yeah, and 3 attackers. He has 3 defenders. Attackers is a pawn. He take. He takes. He has to. No, he can take with the knight first. Maybe we'll just trade everything off. Obviously, I can't let him do that. Reason to not take the pawn first. I think I'll just take with the pawn. It's simple. I tend to overcomplicate the middle game position a lot and really like eat up all my time. So I should try to just play quicker when I can. Trades here. For this trade, I should take back with the rook. Does prepare him to double stuff up if he takes back with the rook like that. Here also attack the rook. He'd go here, I think, so that doesn't seem to do much. Take here. I can also go here. Maybe encourage. I get development. Encourage him to take and open my rook up. Or I could just take and then go there with tempo on the rook anyway. So let's just do that. Once again, just try to play simple moves. Not get too low on my time. Here. I don't really have any threat here while the bishop hasn't developed. I mean, in this pawn, I don't have a way to really double up on it, because this bishop can't attack it. So yeah, let's just develop the knight. Tempo on the rook. I need to go back. Okay, it just goes all the way back. So I feel like we have a decent position. I could actually go here, attacking this pawn. He pushes. No, because he can support the pawn. So I don't think it really does anything. I guess I could go back, and then the pawn is still. This defending pawn is pinned to the rook. So I would, but he has the knight defending it too. So yeah, I don't think I can do anything in terms of attacking that pawn. I think I'll just castle, especially because now the rook is lined up with my king. Let's just check for any knight moves here. Is this threatening at all? I don't think so. If he does that, I'll probably just kick him. Alright, let's castle. Moves over the bishop. You just go here to break the pin right away. Obviously, I don't want to double this up and open up my king. Could go here right away. He might go back, maintain the pin. I'd probably be forced to drop this anyway. But I like having the escape square regardless. I'll just drop the bishop back first though. Just break the pin immediately. Because there have been sometimes where I tried to play some other moves while I had a pin piece, and it can be really dangerous when you have anything that's pinned. It can be pretty dangerous, and unless you've like foreseen all the potential attacks they can create, a lot of times you can end up getting the piece under a lot of pressure. Right, now I think I'll play this, or I could just hop the knight into the center here. Try to go for another trade. That seems reasonable. I like having the escape square anyway. If he does go back, then I can hop the knight regardless and then still try to go for the trade. So let's just do that because I like having an escape square for my king. Never have to worry about back rank mate. So any reason to go to any other square aside from d4? I don't think so. d4 seems good. If he does push here, he might need to move, but figure that out. I also do have this attack, but not until we deal with the bishop here. Because then if I move the queen, then the knight will be pinned to the bishop because it's undefended. So let's just move our knight. Yeah, I think I just like going here. Straightforward. He kind of needs to trade unless he wants to just drop back to here. Because I have two attackers. Trade. Could take with the knight. I don't think I want to. The only benefit is that I do allow going queen b3. And then he does kind of have to protect that pawn. Because if he pushes it, then this is a target right away. Okay, let's just take here with the queen though. This pawn is pinned now to the queen, but we do have two defenders on the knight and it's not under attack. I don't like when the enemy knight gets into my side of the board, my territory here. Can run into a lot of trouble with that. So let's maybe try to kick him out. If I play this, back to any of these squares. Oh, wait, no, he could hop here, which we do not want. So yeah, I can't kick him out right now. Probably should just try to trade the knights, but I don't have a square I could trade it at right now. I might just start pushing over here or something and just try to create some space and open this rook up maybe. Don't see anything that good right now. Could go here and then here to try to trade, because I would like to get his knight out of there. Just go back and attack the defender of his knight, but it's defended by the rook as well. Okay, I kind of like the queen here anyway, so maybe I'll just push this first. Just have to be careful. If I go here, take. He has this square. The rook would move. It's not forking anything. Not a fan of it though. Just play it, because this does get my queen pretty active. Prefers to get rid of his defender of the knight. And I kind of want to move my queen from here. It's not super active here. It's kind of in an awkward spot, and it is still lined up with the rook as well. Could be sometimes leading to tactics for him. Let's just try to play safe. Let's basically just like try to play as if we're going for a draw here, and then we'll see if he makes any mistakes that we could take advantage of at any point. Doing this, Just defending this, but this pawn is not under threat. You can't go here because this is still not pinned. If I take, probably take back like that. Maybe I'll move the rook over. Queen will need to move again, probably. Have to be careful about any kind of pins here. Let's take, I don't see an immediate threat right now. But no, he does take back with the pawn instead of the queen. But that does give him an isolated pawn, which could definitely be a weakness. So yeah, I assumed he would take back with the queen. But I guess he wants to maintain this pin. So I might go here, tempo on the queen, and then try to come back and trade. I can also go ahead and start sliding the rooks out, get potential alignment with this, with the pawn here. Let's just do this first. Queen out of here, and then I'll happily trade the knight off. We just play safe, solid moves going into an endgame, and just keep playing like that and not do anything too crazy or get too low on time, then we can just wait and see if he makes a mistake, which most of the time, if you're playing solid, eventually they'll make some kind of significant mistake that we could take advantage of. Okay, so maintaining the pin, I probably should go over. Even though I don't see an immediate threat from the pin happening right now. Or I just go here first. Here. Getting ready to trade the knight. If I do take the knight, it does unisolate his pawn. Maybe I'll just attack the pawn first, because it is undefended now that the queen moved. But I kind of like attacking the pawn. He'll probably protect it with the rook. We have ways to double up on it though. But should I move the king first? Threatening this pawn. I don't see anything. I don't see any threat from the pin. I'm going to take the risk of not moving it first. I think I'll go here. Give my king more squares to move to and attack this pawn here. Go here first. I'm just trying to trade. Here, take. Nothing crazy is happening. We're already attacking the pawn a bit. I'll just attack it like this first. Also now we get rid of the fork that could have happened here if we ever push the f pawn by moving this rook. I still just need to be hyper aware of this pin though. Okay, he defends it. Go here to double attack, but it's not really threatening anything because if I take with the queen, then I just lose my queen. I could go here actually. That's a fork. Well, I kind of like that. Should I try to trade the knight first? I don't know. That's my only concern is just that knight. But if I come here, I don't have anything here yet. Yeah, I think it's okay to play that. Oh, wait, but if he just pushes the pawn, then I go here, we're still... Or no, if he pushes the pawn, I just take that. Never mind. Okay, let's try that. So this move, if I ever wanted to threaten the queen again, but I think he could just hop back to no, he can't hop back to there. No. He could probably just threaten the knight or something. I'm not sure if it would do anything for me. Yeah, we're double attacking the pawn on d5, and we're attacking the pawn on d7. Not sure what he'll do in response. I mean, generally the best thing to do is counterattack. Okay, that's an interesting idea. So he's protecting this pawn, attacking my queen. If I take here, the only thing is, does he have a discovered attack? Because I can take the pawn, but then once he moves... Wait, no, that doesn't work for him, right? Because if he does move, I take. That should be a back rank mate. So I think I'm okay to take. If I'm wrong, then I might lose the game. But I think that I am okay. Where can he go? Hop here, and yeah, no matter where he goes, I would just take. He can't go anywhere to protect the rook. Because it's only those two squares, they're both blocked. He can't run anywhere with check. Doesn't have any checks. I don't think. So I think I can take. Let's try. His knight is actually, for the moment, I think, pinned to the rook. So we could even start attacking the knight now. Because of that threat of taking both the rooks with a back rank mate. It's two defenders of it. I have two attackers. I don't have a way to attack right away with my knight. I've also tried to maybe bring this rook out, swing it over here or something. Because then if I take, I'm threatening to take the pawn with the rook, he can't take back, or we do that same idea. Also want to reposition my knight better now. So I can move my knight here. He wants a queen trade, okay. He wants to trade, we're up material. I was thinking I can move my knight here, but I can't now because he's twice defending it. Probably need to take the trade. His knight moves here. Do I just trade right away? I'm not sure. I mean, I don't need to take, because he could take, I take. It's not really concerning. It's not threatening anything else. I could just make a rook move here first, or could make, no, I can't make that either. Could go here. But unless that does something obvious, which I don't see, then it's just putting my knight on the edge of the board for no reason. Could also just double up here. So if he takes, we immediately reinforce this attack against the knight. I think I like the idea of this, though, coming over and attacking the pawns. I'm just taking back with this. He takes. We are getting our time kind of low now, but it's not insanely low. We are kind of getting to the end game. Now that the queens are traded off, we are up a pawn. My rooks are fairly active now here. He hops back. We can go take. He takes. Go here. Otherwise I could drop back, and then if he takes, we make this isolated pass pawn in the center of the board. I'm not sure how much I want to do that. but maybe. I think I'll just take. We're up a pawn. Just keep it simple once again. Attack here. We could go here to defend it, but then my rook's a lot more active. He doesn't have anything crazy here. I think, yeah, let's just. I don't see anything crazy for him. Let's just attack here. He doesn't have a back rank mate because we just go up. And he can't actually come into our second rank here because the knight is guarding. Or, yeah, I mean, yeah, he would just give up the rook for the knight if he did that. And I also just have back rank if his rook moves without check. If he plays rook d1, obviously that's with check. I move and then I don't have back rank because you can come back and cover it. But if he moved anywhere else, I would. Okay, he's moving his pawn. He's giving up on trying to like play this to protect this pawn. I think I'll just take the pawn. He can attack the rook, but I don't think that's a big deal. Also attack the knight. Where does the knight move? Could attack the knight first and then take the pawn? No, because he could go here to protect the pawn. So let's just take. We're threatening another pawn. Here's the check. Oh, actually, I will lose this pawn. I actually didn't realize that before. Once I go up, but we should still be up material. Here. That's in the skip square, so there's no back rank for me now. Go here, threaten the knight. This pawn is isolated now. I think I'll just keep taking pawns. He goes here. No, he still can't go there because my knight's guarding it, so that's good. He can play rook here. I'll come up though. I think I'll just come up to start. Immediately try to kind of kick the knight away. We could go there with check. But then I'll just keep coming towards the center and I think it'll be okay and I can just activate my king more. I like that I'm covering this, so I take the pawn first, let him have a check, then come up. Actually, that seems fine too. I think I can just take it. I have to be careful though, because you can mate with just a knight and a rook, but I don't think he's gonna have my escape squares covered. Actually, if he goes here, no, but then he can't check me. It prevents me from getting away, but he can't check me. So let's just. I also can give the check if I want, but I don't think that does anything. Okay, my time's getting too low. Let's play here. Hopefully, I'm not missing any major threat here. I definitely could be though, because I'm pretty bad at seeing. I'm pretty bad at playing defensive and like seeing attacking moves from my opponent. So that's when I always like eat so much of my time up. I'm just seeing this. Doesn't have that. He has this to cut my escape score, but then he can't give a check with the rook. And then his rook also is kind of tied to the knight, because if he moves it, then I would take it. So I think it's just this, and then I go up. And then I don't think there's any crazy follow-up after that. You have this check. I just go up again. And I'm fine to just walk my king up to the center of the board and then try to coordinate it with my rook maybe. He is given the check. Let's go up. Oh, 2 pawns, so as long as... Yeah, okay, he's given that check too. I think I'll go up here. It's kind of what we were looking at. He can attack this pawn. No, he can't, because I can... My knight is guarding it. Let's just attack his knight. Can't threaten anything. My knight here has been doing a pretty good job of defending some of these potential attacking squares for his rook. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . be careful about my isolated pawn now. But I mean, I have two connected pass pawns over here, so I mean, especially if we can get a trade of the rooks, it would be looking pretty good. Alright, his knight moves. He has check here. Probably would just move again. I can go here and threaten him right away. He could give check. Actually, I don't like that because I can't come over because his knight's threatening. He goes here, then he can still come up. Okay, let's just try to get the pawn safe. I think I'll go here. If he checks. No, actually, I want to keep the knight here. Let's just try to bring the rook maybe back to the king. Back to the action here. If he goes to one of these, I can push the other one. Okay, I do need to play something right away. Maybe I'll just keep walking up here. I'm just going to push this pawn. Just try to walk my pawn up. I'm not doing very good with my time though. I'm using all of it. But I get, when I'm in a nice winning position here, oh crap, and I blundered the pawn to the board. Well, that is unfortunate. Here. Yeah, I'm trying to be better with my time, but I'm not very good at it. When I get into a winning position going into an endgame here, I do stall my time quite a bit. Okay, I think we're fine. We just keep that covered for now. And try to walk our king over maybe, or maybe let's just get the knight over. Sculpted. We only have a +1 advantage. My king is more active though. My rook is in front of my pawn, which makes it a lot harder to actually promote. That could be tricky. This pawn could become a target easily once my king moves away from it. I can use the knight to support the pawn, get my rook out of the way, and then slide it up. That could be good. Okay, let's just push that one up, one square. Thinking I push once. Then when do I get the knight? Can't go knight here. Attacking that. Could drop the king back, or I could move the knight. No, let's just push. But then when he attacks this one, I don't have a way to defend it, do I? I'm just going to drop back for a second for now. Just to defend it with the king and attack the rook. And then let's just go into here with the knight. And then we could slide the rook up and try to walk this up. Actually, no, because once I get to this square, it's totally covered. Okay, let's he's attacking the rook, so let's maybe just go here. Bring this off. Should I just just bring the king over and give up on the other pawns? Okay, let's go here with tempo. I'm scared of getting forked though, because I don't have much time to check for forks. Maybe we kind of say, forget about the other pawns and really focus over here. Yeah, I think I can push right now. The knight can't come back here to attack because I'm guarding it. So he's pretty restricted now. Yeah, he has to go back down there. It's not very good for him. Let's give this check. Make room for the pawn to push. Now the knight is set up in a good spot because I can go here. The knight's going to cover it. Okay, let's just go. Should I go up or down? Let's just go up and give up the pawn. So we have a better threat here. The knight comes here, here. Or I stay down and try to protect the pawn. And then I just use the rook to try to promote. Actually, maybe I should do that. You know what? No, I'm going to go up. I'm not sure which one's better, but I can't decide. We're really close to promoting here. The knight's guarding the pawn. I'm preparing to move the rook over. We're even material now because he took this extra pawn. But I'm banking on promoting this one and making him sacrifice something. Let's probably just go here with tempo on the knight. Knight can hop here. Oh, missed it. That he had that check. Does it matter though? I think go down. Just go up here. I was thinking he was going to bring the knight in instead of the go up again. It's going to have another. No, he doesn't have that check. Doesn't have this check because the knight is covering it. I'm just playing on such low time though. I'm still getting into the same time troubles like every game, but I feel like I've gotten a little bit better at it, but some games I still do really bad with it. Normally it's just a couple moves where I do it. Okay, we promote. Just play that without thinking. Okay, now we're winning. Let's not get forced. Here. Here. Let's just go here. Let's go here. Let's attack this pawn. And we're also cutting off the knight here. I'll take. Go take with the knight. Let's take with this. He's attacking my pawn, but... Actually, I'll just move my pawn first. I think I'm able to. Because now we're actually totally cutting his king off here. You need to get my king over there. His king is in a much better position than mine is. Like in terms of proximity to the pawns, at least. To go here, is that threatening anything? Interesting. Is he gonna go for... Want to go for this fork? Yeah, I think he wants to go for that fork. So let's take like this. Prevent this. Down. Can't come here now. Can't come here. Kind of has to go to like a weird square. Like that. Give this check. Does that do anything for me? Actually, that's almost a mate. What if I give check here? No, then he just takes the knight. What if I give check here? Oh yeah, because that forces the knight trade, actually. That's perfect. I if there was almost a mate there, though, like with the pawn, because almost all his squares were cut off. Oh, he's going to go for that. Okay, that's kind of a good idea. Maybe I should go for... Take. And I still have the knight and the pawns. I think I'd rather have the rook, though. So let me just go here and defend. Oh, I think I'm threatening mate in one. Wait, no. No, it is. Yeah, this is mate. Everything's cut off here. The knight cuts this off. The pawns cut this off. So I'm threatening mate in one right now. I believe. Unless I'm missing a square. I think everything will be cut off if I do that. Okay, he guards that, but gives up the knight. He's coming up with like kind of clever moves actually. To give check here. I'm just gonna do that. Oh, that was mate too. Oh, nice. So I had two different main ones. I was looking at the other one, and I didn't realize I also had that one. Okay, so we hit another new high, despite having almost zero time on the clock for like a while at the end. 1227. We got +9 from that because he was a little bit higher than us. It says the blunder. Let's see what it says once we get to the actual game review here. Sometimes it will show a blunder there, but it wasn't my blunder. Sometimes it says blunder. But no, it does say it was my blunder. So I had one blunder, but I had pretty good accuracy at 87.3. He had 79.1. It looks like my blunder was right near the end, actually, but I think he missed. Yeah, it says he has a miss. What was my blunder? I'm not sure what it was. Maybe did I miss a fork there? I might have missed a fork and then he didn't see it or something. Because it's really hard to see all the knight forks when I'm like on that time pressure, 10 seconds on the clock every move. I shouldn't get myself in that position, but yeah, that's what it was. So it gets really hard to see the forks. I wonder if I missed one. Let's go from the start though. We'll see that later. Okay, book moves. All the standard London moves here. It didn't like c3. It did want me to play knight to e5. I felt like this might be a good position to play knight e5, but I wasn't totally sure. I normally like to go for the e4, e5 push. A lot of times. They wanted him to trade though. And here, yeah, we just go for a bunch of trades. I'm not going to complain about that. Trading into an in-game early is totally fine with me. Maybe this was all best moves. He was playing well. You get more trades. Then this was where things got a little tricky with his knight on e4 here. I didn't like that move. He wanted me to get the rook out first, it looks like. Yeah, maybe that's better than trying to go for this kind of pawn break and then get the queen out. I just was trying to find a way to quickly get rid of this knight. I just really hate having the knight right up in my business on this side of the board. I've lost to so many different tactics that I didn't see whenever they have knights in my position. Okay, I want him to take back with the queen because it gave him this isolated pawn. Once this happened, once he had this isolated pawn, I was actually starting to feel like I have a little bit of an advantage. And the engine agrees. It says I have a plus 0.71, when before it was basically totally even. It's not a huge fan of this move, though. It actually goes back to plus 0.34 from dropping the knight back. At the time, it seemed like it was kind of useful, and it did help me later on. But it is a more passive move, as opposed to keeping the knight maybe more threatening on his side of the board. Drop back and double up here. Yeah, that probably makes sense. He was keeping this pin, but it never really seemed threatening because he was never threatening this pawn with another piece. The rooks have no way to get over there. They cannot threaten it. The knight could threaten it, but if it did, then I think I would just break the pin and it would be a totally pointless threat. Or I could just trade the knight, actually, if he went there. So he had no way to make use of this pin. I was a little scared of it, but I was looking at those possibilities and I didn't see any way he could make use of that, so I wasn't too threatened by it. And it looks like the engine did prefer that he would have gone over here instead of just sitting here looking at the king like that. Okay, this was a good move. Excellent. It says that was a bad move because now we got this ability to take the pawn. He gave up the pawn. I thought maybe he was doing it because there was going to be a discovered attack, but then I looked at it and there wasn't. In fact, it even pinned his knight because I have a threat of a back rank mate with taking both rooks. He wanted me to take first, but getting the rook out was fine. He takes, we take, get more trades. Now after the trading down, we have a plus 2.58 advantage, so it's pretty good advantage here. But it actually really didn't like this. So typically, bringing the rook over to attack all these pawns on the back, on the 7th or the 2nd rank, it's normally really good, but I think in this case, because it allowed him to kind of do some damage over here, and I actually missed that he was going to win this pawn at first, which kind of breaks my good pawn chain. I think in this case it wasn't as good. It looks like it wanted me to block the rook by bringing the knight back into the center, which actually makes a lot of sense. So I definitely should have played that move. Would have prevented this and all the other weird checks that he had back here, and then also it allows him to attack the pawns on this side. So yeah, I really like that move actually. That's a really good move. Centralize the knight. There's no pawns that can attack it. It's basically a permanent outpost here if I want it to be. And it just makes the rook useless. And there's no threat of check or anything, so yeah, that's a really good move that we did not play. And this was a miss by him because he didn't give the check right away. That was inaccurate. It still really wants me to just play this, so yeah, this was kind of a big deal actually. It definitely reduced my advantage a little bit. I still am winning though. Okay, now it was best to take because this threat is kind of over. If he checks again, I just come up and up, which is what we looked at and what happened. In fact, it didn't even like him giving this check. It says it was inaccurate. Prefers attacking these pawns. So plus 2.6, now 2.9 advantage here. We activate the king. He's checking us kind of for no reason. We're just getting like free king activation and more tempo on the knight here. So yeah, I kind of like this. But then I did blunder this. This was kind of bad that I blundered this pawn because the plus 2 advantage, the connected pass pawns, it's a lot harder when you just have one. It's isolated and the rook's in front of it. But luckily the knight was able to kind of help us out with that issue. But yeah, that was basically a blunder by me to not see that fork. But we're still winning. 1.4 advantage here, it says. Prefer the knight up here. Oh yeah, because then I'm threatening this immediately. That makes sense. But this is the point where I can see on the clock I was already here at 18 seconds. So this is where I'm just playing to survive on the clock. Alright, it didn't like coming back with the king here. I wasn't sure about this, but once again, 15 seconds on the clock. And I think this was 15 after I played the move, so I think I might have even been down to 5 when I played it. Not sure if that's how that works. But I did decide to go back. This says inaccurate. I still have a plus 1.3 advantage. It preferred protecting with the knight. I didn't really want to do that because I wanted the knight to come over here and help the pawn. But the engine definitely liked that more. That was inaccurate. I still haven't seen where my blunder was. Apparently my blunder is right at the end, so I'm really curious what that was. Alright, he gives this check, which didn't really do anything. I'm still just activating my king, getting it further over to the pawn and everything. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, we get the check. He comes up, and then now we're making space to push all the way to a6, a7. Once we're on a7, the knight is protecting. And the king is here to protect the knight if the knight comes under threat. So I really like... Once we were in this position, I felt pretty good about this. The only thing I was worried about was still the time, but I felt pretty good about this, even if I give up this pawn, which I did. And it took him several moves to get his knight even back in the game, really. Which again, the rook over, which it looks like it preferred this square. I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe to try to get a trade or threaten the check, or try to get a trade of the rooks. I guess the threat on the knight didn't really do much. And then I missed this check, but it wasn't like it didn't really do too much. But yeah, I actually didn't notice it because I was looking at him, expecting him to move the knight instead of the rook. I move, and then he gives another check, and then I move again, and then there wasn't really anything here because he can't give this check. There's no forks with the knight, and at this point he realized he had to give up the rook. We get that, and then now it's just like once again just playing for the clock, trying to play some quick moves, and he's just hopping the knight around. I really liked once I had the two pawns like this. This is always such a nice position to have in an endgame when you have the two pawns that cut off all the king's squares in front of him. So it's almost like you have a rook here, like the king just cannot come forward. Yeah, these like adjacent pawns can be super powerful in endgames. That was my blunder because I lose a knight. So what did I miss here? I was thinking that if I take like this, then he goes here, and then, yeah, then I'm in a lot of trouble. Yeah, now it's a draw, if that happened. I saw that, and I avoided it, but I thought that this move was totally safe to take with the knight instead. But I did that, and then I'm still not sure, actually, why it's a blunder. Maybe it's obvious. I'm not seeing it right now. It doesn't have a fork here. This doesn't do anything. I just take the knight. King is threatening it. So it's like, is it a remove the defender thing? Is he able to get rid of my rook here? I don't see how he would. So let me just see what it shows. I wanted to figure it out, but... Oh, that's all it is. Oh, so simple. It's just a fork with the, not with the knight, but with the king, which I like. I look for these moves a lot myself, but I didn't realize that he had it. Wait, actually, why can't I just go here, though? Is it still guarding? Oh, is there a fork after that? Here. Yeah, then there's a fork. Okay. So that's a little bit trickier to see. Because it requires you to see that once I go here, then there's a fork. So obviously he didn't see that, so we got lucky. Instead he played this, which was a miss, because he didn't bring the king over. He just gave that check, which was pointless. Once again, just allowing me to walk my king closer. And then I thought this was going to force the trade of the knights, but he then walked over, forking these two with the king, but I'm able to defend it, so I did that. It actually did want him to just take the knight. And then once he goes there, I just had a mate. Oh yeah, because I was looking at this being the mate, which I believe it was. Like if he played a random move like that, then that's just mate. Yeah. But I didn't even look at the fact that it was also mate from this way, which makes sense because like he has no squares, so yeah, there's nothing. So, what was there a way to not get mated then? What should he have played? Oh, he wanted him to just take. because otherwise it leads to the mate. Yeah, it says mate in 12 here, actually, once he moved the king. That was best to come over. It still wanted him to take, because now it's just mate in 1. So he had to just give up the knight. So he was going to totally lose at that point. Okay, that was an interesting game. We barely survived on the clock, but I think we played pretty well for the most part. I had a couple things I missed. I guess I did have this blunder at the end, but it was kind of a little bit of a tricky tactic. I don't think most people would have seen that tactic because it took seeing that there was a fork and that the only escape score for the rook would lead to another fork. Um, a fork with the king that would then lead to a fork with the knight after because it was only the one escape score. That kind of thing can be a little hard to spot in a real game. So luckily he didn't. But that was my only real blunder. And then I did blunder that one fork on the king and that pawn as well. So that was kind of a bad mistake. Aside from that, I think we played pretty well. We had good accuracy, and we're up to a new all-time high, creeping up into the 1200s. We're at 1227, so we're more than a quarter of the way to 1300. So that's the next big target, is making it to 1300. And this has been day 75. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on day 76.